I love movies like this. I really love when you watch them, you can feel the amount of like passion and love and just creative juju that goes into them.
Oh, yeah. That's why we do this.
Yeah, I know. And lots of the movies that we cover are like this. It's just, I don't know, with this one in particular, it just really hit me as we were watching it that, it's a work of love.
It is. And it's, it was fun to watch, but, I'm not going to lie. What makes it even a little bit better is we're going to talk to
Miss Tucky.
Yeah, next week.
Yeah.
So, this is a finishing installment on a series.
Yeah, another series.
Produced and created and the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot of stuff to talk about on this one.
I know. And I'm so excited to talk to her. Coming up soon.
I know. Before we get into this, though, I have a little ad here from our friend Miles Trout,
our
the
buddy
Disc
Miles
podcast. By the time you folks listen to this will have already begun. In fact, just now tonight, he dropped the first episode in this marathon in which we are the guests.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is going through all week. So let me play this by Miles here. Here we go.
Halloween approaches, and the Disc Dump podcast is doing something special. We are watching all of the Masters of Horror movies, and we are going to be releasing an episode for each individual one. Look for it all October long on the Disc Dump podcast.
And we're on it.
I know.
And I think we're going to probably do some more stuff with Miles because he's just so much fun.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of fun talking with him.
I know. The one thing that I've got planned, I've got to get some details worked out. I'll be excited to announce it when we have everything worked out.
We'll get it. So anyway, check this out. If you haven't by now, check out the Disc Dump podcast. Miles is doing the whole Master of Horrors thing. It was fun. It's ambitious, and there's still episodes to catch because this will be coming out mid-October. So you got the rest of the month. Do it. Have some fun.
And Miles himself, he's a super sweet cinephile and music file and game file.
Yeah. Listen to his show. Just all kinds of stuff.
He's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So now, how about we get going on our show?
Yeah.
And do a little bit of this movie talk thing that we do.
Let's talk about this here movie.
All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. Hey, B-Siders. Welcome to another episode of Bravo for the B-Side. This is Jim.
And this is Danny. What? I make faces at you all the time.
I know. And I'm not falling for it. This week, we have a great film that we're going to dive into. And as a little bit of a spoiler, our next episode is going to be an interview with the writer, director, and star.
Oh my gosh. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited.
And she will be a returning guest. We're getting a small handful of those.
I know. I did know about the interview. I was just,
Yeah, I know.
I know.
You just want to make me look like I don't tell you anything. Anyway. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's another fun film.
I'm super excited.
Yeah.
She's so sweet, and I'm thrilled to talk to her again.
Her rep reached out to us and let us know that this bad boy was alive on Amazon.
Hey.
So we dove into it, and we're going to get into that in just a moment. things going on this week. Not a lot. I mean, well, everything that's going on is still going on, but, we finally got tickets.
We did.
To Fried Berry.
I'm super excited. And
Yeah.
Ryan said that we could talk about it. So that'll be coming up.
So that is going to be an episode very much like the Redwood Massacre Annihilation episode, where we are going to do a light grazing and talk about aspects of the film and not run through it, because that's not going to be publicly released.
Right. It's still in festivals.
Yeah, until January. So we don't want to, reveal the recipe.
True.
Before the dish is served. But asked Ryan, and yeah, he said absolutely if you can keep it. So we're going to do like another Redwood Massacre Annihilation type coverage of it. We could wait till January, but I don't want to.
I don't want to wait. I'm not a patient person.
By the time you listen to this, folks, it will have passed from the festival. The Mile High Horror Film Festival is where it's at now. I've been putting out a couple tweets, and I'll be doing that probably for the next week and a half or so, which you folks would have seen. So, it's kind of the bummer of doing this ahead of time. But,
I know.
But, see, folks, if we get stricken with illness or things happen, we have episodes ready to go so that you do not have to wait.
That's true.
Right? At least, 2 episodes or 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I just think it's a smart thing to do. Yeah. I don't think we have any announcements other than, woohoo, upgraded the Wi-Fi. Replaced some now antiquated equipment, and it all went well.
Yeah, it doesn't really affect our sound quality or podcast.
Nope, has absolutely nothing to do with this.
It's just personal excitement.
That's just what's going on.
Yeah.
So, why don't we start in on this thing? Because there's a lot of good things to talk about.
Yeah.
And we should get going. Why don't you bring us in?
Well, I have all the information here.
You do.
So I'm going to tell you that information. This movie. Don't interrupt me.
I was just cheering you on, but that's fine.
Thank you. I appreciate
That's fine. Okay. No.
No. Build me up. Do it. Come on. Yeah. I love it. You're so supportive. Anyway, this movie is called Dagger Kiss, Enchanted Forest. It was released in 2020. It is on Amazon Prime Video. It was directed by the lovely Tucky Williams. Also written by Tucky Williams, starring Tucky Williams, Amanda K. Morales, Ronnie Jonah, Thomas J. Phillips, PJ Stamps, and Joe Grattan. Lots of familiar names here.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of the same cast that was in Girl Scene.
Yeah. It's a working circle.
It is. Well, you find your crew.
Right.
You work well with, and you stick with them.
And it's a local
production.
So you're going to run into those local people.
It was not rated.
No, it's released to VOD.
Yeah. We do not know the budget, but maybe Tucky can let us know when we talk to her next week. This is the log line, and it's significantly shorter than the log line we had last week.
It's some.
I remember that one. This is shorter, and I'm grateful for it. So Thank you.
Bring us in.
Sorceress Arden and her warrior girlfriend Katya are deeply in love, but the veil between Earth and the world of magic keeps them apart. When the evil sorcerer Zareth arises from the dead, Ardith and Katya are sent on a quest to defeat him.
Yeah. So before we dive into this, it's worth noting that before you watch this, if you have not watched her series, Dagger Kiss, you might want to watch it because it's got it's a lead up to what's happening kind of thing.
So, we did not watch the series, and we realized pretty quickly that we probably should have.
Well, interestingly, I don't there's a couple references, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think you could roll through this because it's kind of its own thing. There's just like a couple past references, it's like diving into a Marvel film somewhere in the middle, right? There'll be references to other superhero films, right? And then any films before that. So like Captain America, Captain America Civil War, right? It's really kind of an Avengers film. It's the whole thing. But there's specific references to the previous Captain America films.
Indeed.
And previous other folks' films prior, to that.
Well, yeah.
So it
can stand on its own.
It can stand on its own. It can. But if you want to get deeply in the know, go ahead and jump in on that series and ride yourself all the way up to Dagger Kiss, Enchanted Forest.
All right. Why don't you?
Shall we?
Yeah. Why don't you start us out?
Okay.
Do I have anything to build you up beforehand?
I don't know. Do you?
Give me a second. Yeah, I do. Here.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So, we open with some beautiful scenery, and we have some Renaissance music playing. There's some couples dancing traditional dances. If you've been to a Ren Fair, if you've ever seen anything, it's very graceful. The hands
it's
touching
very
at
choreographed.
The top. And it's very regimented, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Because you did the maypole dance.
I love the maypole
dance.
One time
we went to the Ren Fair, they drug you in.
I know.
Yeah. And then we have, with that going on, we have one woman off to the side. She's practicing with a sword. And everyone is having a good time. After the dancing, a man introduces the Darkener, which is Arden, as their hero. She says a few words. Then one of the women in the group pulls a dagger on her. And the Darkener touches the woman, who then falls to the ground. And when she does, a wind sweeps through the glen that they're in. And the woman was apparently a follower of Zareth, who was put down over a year ago. So there's a reference. Let's see, it works fine. Then we're with Katya, and I had originally dubbed her Sword Woman.
Yes.
Because we didn't get a name yet.
Because she was the woman practicing with a sword.
Right. And as it turns out, she was not off to the side. It was cut.
Right.
So it seemed like it. So that was pretty cool. It's like unraveling what's going on as the scenes progress. So while this is going on with the Darkener, we see Katya, and she's in a pickup truck pulling into her driveway. When she gets inside, she's met by another woman who has been commanded by her mistress to serve Katya. The servant has evidently killed Katya's best friend.
Yeah.
Kind of just came out that way.
Yep. And Katya's not a big fan of this woman.
No.
Yeah.
No. It's one of those, this woman has been ordered, to be here and serve. Katya doesn't want any part of it, and it's happened in like a couple plot lines in films.
Right.
That whole, not going to get rid of her. I don't like her.
Stuck with you, but I don't like you.
We'll manage.
Yeah. So, we're back with Arden, the Darkener, and a friend of hers who was dancing earlier with them. And her friend gives Arden this really pretty opal ring. That I remember watching. I was like, ooh, that's a really pretty ring. That can open portals between worlds. Because Arden wants to go to another world.
Right.
Yeah. But the portal isn't opening. any point soon. So this friend gives her the ring who can open, and it can open at any time. And the friend asks her to bring back some junk food from her travels.
Yeah. Well, they mentioned specifically Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like potato chips and, stuff like that. The universal, treat package. I don't know.
We on planet Earth know just what junk food is.
Oh, yeah.
Terrible for you, but you cannot deny it's delicious.
It's the best. So, Katya, and in my notes, I still have Sword Woman. But Katya and Arden meet up, and it's present day. And they're definitely familiar with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And right away, they kind of get into this making up for lost time. They're kissing and getting together. And I like this little joke that's going on throughout the whole scene of them having to remove like 16 weapons,
The boots, the other boots, the belt, the back belt, the hip, Yeah,
the bra, like everything as they're getting together. And I did note at this point, then I realized later that there was a reason for this, but the lighting in the outside scenes was a little bit hot. But when they got indoors, it was definitely a lot more even.
Mm-hmm.
It was very nice, very soft,
right.
very tonally fitting,
right,
for what was going on. So then we're back with the redhead, who I thought was named Trista, and then I later learned I think it was an oops.
I think it was an oops because yes, to have to break out of this. Let's explain.
That's okay.
This.
That's okay.
So, listeners, here's what happened. We're watching it. I also heard Trista.
Okay.
And I thought, oh, sure.
She has the same name.
Yeah, as
Yeah.
girls. So I did my whole thing, and then in a little while they start calling her Jenna. And I started questioning. I've hit middle age, so I need to question whether or not I'm having a stroke, like multiple times a day.
Right.
I swear it was Trista. And I can't tell you how relieved I was when I read your notes. Like, yes. But I did do a search and replace on Trista and replaced it with Jenna.
Okay.
So that's why mine, I wasn't on the ball. It's after we were done and you were getting coffee and stuff. I'm like, what's going on here? But yeah.
Okay.
So
I think it was an oops. That happens.
It happens.
Yeah. We've covered it in other movies that we've talked about too.
Well, yeah. And like some of the famous ones like The Doors, Val Kilmer's in, the elevator and the woman calls him, in the concert venue hallway and calls him Jim or Val. So come on, Jim, you can do this. It's come on, Val.
Right.
You can do this, right? So anyway.
Yeah. There was a moment in Dead 7 too that we caught, and it's when Joey Fatone is blowing himself up. It's fine. So Jenna, the redhead, is picking apart a rose. And she's sitting in outside, and this guy is running. She's next to a bike path.
Yeah.
Or a walking path. And he's just a normal dude. And she starts calling him Lord Zareth. And I wrote Zareth because I misheard it. And I just kept that on. So if I say that, sorry. It's probably going to happen. And he talks to her a little bit like a concerned psychologist, and we learn that he is her friend's therapist.
Yeah.
His name is Todd. He has no idea who this Lord person is. And Jenna, and it says Trista, Jenna thinks that he's a reincarnated Lord.
Yes.
Lord Zareth. So the next scene, real quick, they've got him laid out on this altar.
Yeah.
Jenna and this other person.
Yeah.
And she stabs him and then kisses him to revivify
Yes.
him. That was the only word I could think of it, that we played just so much D&D lately that,
That's fair.
and he now remembers who he is, and he is the Lord Zareth, having been awakened by Jenna.
Yes. And so there's like a little conversation, but one of the things I love that his first reaction to being brought back from the dead is his concern with what he's dressed in. Because Todd was out strolling in his casuals.
Yeah.
Right? Track jacket, the whole thing and stuff. And apparently not at all fitting with Lord Zareth's aesthetic.
No.
But I just thought that was great. Back from the dead. Oh, what's going on? Instantly his first concern is, what am I wearing?
It's fair, though, because if I were brought back to life and I were wearing something that did not fit in with my aesthetic, I wouldn't be okay with it.
I don't think I would mind so much. However, if I was in a position where I were an evil lord,
yeah,
image is everything. So I kind of get it.
Yeah.
But
well, I think even you would want to get it rectified pretty quickly.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Depends. I do have very specific requirements for my attire.
I know.
Even though I don't look like I do, but I do.
I know.
But anyway, that was like my first big chuckle. This is awesome. So when that happens, we cut back to Arden and Katya. Arden wants to show her something she's learned about controlling her darkening power. And it's a new way that she can use it for good. It's kind of like a force thing. Right. To like move, but not like obliterate.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. And then there's a pendant on the table, and it's glowing and making sounds. And Arden picks it up. She listens to it, and it says they need to go to Everwood Forest.
Well, that's what she says. It says we don't hear what it says.
Well,
it just makes some.
Yeah, it communicates.
Yeah,
in its own way, and she can understand it.
It's
magic.
Also, really pretty.
It is. It's very nicely done.
I want to know where all this jewelry is found.
Let's work on the stocking cap first.
Okay.
From 4. Okay.
Yeah.
So now they're in the forest walking, and they stop by a waterfall, and they have another private moment, and then they're walking again. Katya, see, it didn't replace it. It said sword woman. I didn't misspell it. Anyway, Katya asks why they have to always be on a quest. Arden says that they have to gather things that Zareth left behind. So after he was destroyed, apparently there's a lot of stuff all over the place. And I get that because, tools and stuff laying about, you don't want to get in the wrong hands.
Right.
This time, they are looking for the blood of the stars, and it's something that fell to the earth, not made by Zareth. And it's a potion, and drinking the potion will allow the user to steal magic powers from anyone. So someone could steal her powers, which would pretty much, I think, close the door on everyone. It's a bad thing. And
I do want to interject here. The dialogue in this scene is really fun because Katya is a modern day woman.
Right.
And she's pointing out how silly. Why is everything named? All these blood of the stars, what? Why can't we just, have like a day? Why is it always got to be a whole thing?
Yeah. Well,
I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
Well, it's a good contrast of lifestyles, right? We have our fantasy world.
Yeah.
Right. And life is very different. And that's like in all fantasy films and everything. It's all about the things going on. Nobody's ever made a fantasy film about Joe the farmer. And for, 140 minutes, we sit and watch him farm. Old style. Nobody would go see that. So everything's always on the go, and in our world, it's, it's not very sensible. So, yeah, I like that. All right. So as they're walking, Arden spots a rose. She goes to it, and a man in the distance pulls out a throwing star. Throws it. Arden retaliates by throwing a dagger and killing him, which is a mistake. Didn't kill him. I rectify that. Hits him. Then we have Trista and see, didn't take her name out either. See, folks, this is why you don't rely on technology. It'll fuck you in the end every time. So Jenna and a mask-wearing fellow. Arden takes the throwing star, which hit a tree next to her, zips it and hits Jenna. And then the guy who was reading the incantations from before is there with the sword. And he goes for Katya, and Arden uses her magic to push him onto Katya's sword. So it's what we just saw, that like force push kind of thing. Arden goes to look at a fallen person, and it's Lord Zareth. And he takes control of her. She screams and distracts Katya, who is then knocked down by Jenna. Then we see Katya tied to a column in a house, a modern one. Jenna is there. She starts zapping Katya for fun with this device.
Right.
Kind of like a shotgun. It's kind of like is into it. And then she tells Katya that a Darkener can only find true love in an evil sorceress. And since Katya is human, it can never happen.
Right. Yeah. So then we're with Lord Zareth, who's waking up Arden, who's also tied up. And he's placed a bracelet on her that is going to prevent her from using her darkening powers and can only be removed by a sorcerer. So she's effectively powerless.
Right.
And he cuts her loose. And he's obviously into her.
Yeah. It's pretty clear.
Yeah.
Not having seen the series, don't know if this was an ongoing thing, but yeah, the actor did a super good job with his body language, not just the lines and stuff, but how he rolled into it. It was unquestioning.
He really did. And I was impressed with his performance kind of like all the way through.
Yeah.
He has a couple of monologues that I thought were particularly impressive.
Yes.
So then he unties her and says that he needs her to show him where the blood of the stars is.
Mm-hmm.
And she's insisting that she doesn't know where it is. So he yells out for Jenna to blast away at Katya. And Arden sees it and is distressed, but then she's pulled away.
Right.
So Zareth is then talking to Katya about why she doesn't have a last name. He calls her a lightener. And then he, with his powers,
right,
shows them some of the scenes from their past that they don't remember because he's made them forget.
Katya and Jenna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Katya in the flashback is talking about seducing Arden for revenge. And she's been waiting to do it for a long time. And she and Jenna are lovers.
Mm-hmm.
And some poor fellow who was being tortured, killed, then brought back to be killed again.
Yeah, they have it in for this guy. He's I thought, God damn, what a terrible situation to be in. It's enough to be tortured and killed, but then you're tortured and killed by like the one woman who can just like
keep bringing you back to life.
Yeah, breathe life back into you just to kill you again.
Yeah. So Katya then accuses Zareth of creating those memories. And he says they're true, but he did create her. And her true name is Vesper.
Mm-hmm.
And so he created this new version of her, this Katya, so that she could accomplish her mission. But soon, Katya will vanish and she'll be Vesper again. And he was using Arden's weakness, which is love, against her. So he created this alternate self of Vesper so that he could gain Arden's trust and not be revealed. At this point, we go back to Arden, who's sitting in the bedroom, and she's with this Daniel, a wizard in training. And I like him.
He is a lot of fun.
And I'm thinking at this point that it was really clever melding the medieval fantasy with present day for a number of reasons. And, you know, when you're working with a limited budget, you have to have some creative license and work with what you have available to you. And this is sort of where it kind of like I put it together, that what I took to be the like hot lighting outdoors was actually purposeful as a distinction between the realms.
Right.
Right, because it's not Earth. It shouldn't look like Earth.
Right.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh, that is very clever. Well done. So Zareth comes in and zaps Daniel unconscious.
Yeah. And he was like on.
Yeah.
You know, he's got Daniel. When you see him and there's no action going on, he has these little monologues that he's just going on about stuff. And
I love
it's
him.
wonderful. And then it's unceremoniously, here comes the Dark Lord, and just shuts him up.
Well, it makes me think of our friend Greg, who's really good at improv.
Yes.
He's a fantastic improv actor. And when you let him go in front of the camera, he'll just go and go and go. And it's wildly entertaining the whole time.
At an absolute level beat.
I know.
Right? Like he's memorized this story or whatever the hell he's going on about. And the funny part is he can do it in all these like disjointed subjects.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, my mother was, you know, this and that, and from, you know, and then she met this alien from Zareth, and then I wear these size 9 shoes and I can't find these. He just can roll, and it just goes in. And it's like, he's been holding this up. He's been waiting for a captive to let loose and share his knowledge.
Yeah, super fun.
Oh, Daniel.
So then Zareth starts in on Arden, and he's threatening to harm Katya. So she agrees to help him, but they need to find the Whisper Stone first, which is that really pretty amulet.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a fist-sized moonstone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it glows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he reiterates that if Arden betrays him, he'll kill Katya. And then he uses magic to make Arden go unconscious.
And at this point, Jenna is still out there bugging Katya.
Yeah.
She's also got a thing. We'll talk about a lot of this later. When she goes in to kiss her, Katya headbutts her. And then Jenna retaliates by shocking her again with the device. You know, I was expecting the break free and everything, but nope.
Well, yeah.
She just did it to let her know I'm still in charge.
Well,
and then Jenna's like, no, I'm in charge.
Jenna's suddenly, you know, she's remembered now who Katya is, and it's her, you know, her love. So she's not as mean, but she's still, you know,
yeah,
bugging her, and Katya's not into it. So Jenna's like, well,
she's still in another chapter of this story. She's a few chapters behind in this book. So later we have Zareth and Jenna walking with Arden. Arden calls out to the Whispering Stone. Zareth sends Jenna into the woods to speak with it. And then we find out that Arden's daggers are made from the bones of another wizard, which is kind of a thing. And Zareth is the one who explains this. Some old powerful wizard and was carved out, and, you know, her legendary daggers. Zareth says that he does not want to take her powers from her. He doesn't want to leave her a powerless weakling. And it's clear that he has this massive amount of contempt for like all lower life forms.
Right.
He views, and it's funny because he doesn't just view humans, but like the people in their own world, as just worthless, you know?
Well, yeah, if you can't use magic, then what's the point of you?
Right. And just kind of like step out a little bit. It got me because this happens a lot with evil people, and I get it. And the reason it happens a lot is because it's a perfectly logical and acceptable frame of thought for them to have, right?
Well, that's what they think.
Well, that's what they think. They believe it, and I just always look at it as, a little bit further back. It's like, well, I get it. You're all powerful. You don't have time for these minions and stuff, but you can't like run around just killing them willy nilly because someone's got to grow your turnips, dude. None of these evil masters do their own food prep and hunting and stuff. Just saying.
I think.
What?
Let's go on. Let's move on.
Anyway, he hates muggles.
You're treading on dangerous ground.
So then he starts going on about her past, Arden. She's done some dark stuff, but it seems like this world where the Darkner and wizards exist, it seems like it's a pretty fucked up place. There's a lot of stuff that they've talked about having gone on. And it's kind of that whole thing of, it's where they went with like the whole Marvel, all the comic heroes and everything. Right? It's like, well, to make it believable, we have to inject a little reality, which is even in the best of people in the worst of times will do some fucked up stuff because it has to get done. Right? So even if somebody is working for the good, they're likely going to have to do some kind of dark things because you can't just, please your way through these things, especially if you got this guy who's looking to, undo everything, right?
Well, the conversation between them here is really playing with the concepts of good and evil, I think.
Well, it takes it on a perspective level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. This world is not cut and dry like a lot of fantasy things, right? You've got, the evil, blah, blah, blah. But it's that whole thing of, when I was listening to, I mentioned before, the Billy Crudup episode of Mark Maron, where he's playing when he's played an evil guy, he's like, he gets in the mindset, if you're playing a villain, you have to absolutely believe that you're right. You don't think about, oh, he's dark and I got to do this and that. You got to frame your mind around as an actor to think, well, of course. I mean, this is how it's done, right? Because that's the thing. It's all a point of view. Good guy always thinks they're right.
Well, yeah, the bad guy never thinks that they're the bad guy.
Right. The bad guy always thinks that they're right.
Yeah.
And we've been lucky that filmmakers are embracing this a little bit because we have seen where you can't hate the bad guy as much anymore. Because it's like, he didn't just like pull it out of a dirty pair of socks, some random idea. You can see where he's coming from. Villains have gotten much more development as characters. And it really it's not even a morality thing, right? Because morality's fluid.
Right. Well, it's understanding, people in a more complex way.
Right.
The world isn't black and white.
Right. And they do that here. I mean, that's the whole conversation. She's done some dark stuff. This place has seen some really dark times. So Arden is telling Zareth about what she did to him after he died the first time. So I love this. The dagger that he's holding that he took from her belt isn't the other wizard's bones, like her old daggers. It's his bones.
Mm-hmm.
And he is not plussed by that. Not one bit. But and the reaction, I don't know. It got me thinking about a lot of stuff. That's pretty wicked. Well,
it is.
Right?
It's pretty dark.
To be going on, and he's kind of mocking at first, some old wizard and blah, 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 blah. And then you find out, well, guess what? That was done to you. That's right. And it's like a not very subtle reminder for the character that I killed you.
Well, yeah.
You realize that, right? You were like dead.
And he's not pleased.
No. So back in our world, after that revelation, Katya is being harassed by Daniel.
Wizard in training.
Wizard in training, who apparently is a font of knowledge, just looking for every opportunity to tap himself.
Yes.
So now he's going on in some deep detail how in his world, when they tied people up, they would do it with their arms raised, like overextended, so that they suffocate slowly by hanging from them. I mean, now this isn't new. This is a known thing. But he's very, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. Clearly, he loves this knowledge, but he's kind of like into it. And he's not doing it like a lecture.
Right.
You know,
no, he's the fun facts guy.
Yeah, but he's like just into it. He's like delivering it story-wise, to make it interesting for the listener, which I just Daniel's like one of my new heroes.
I like him. I like him so much.
So after we get that out of him, we're back to Zareth and Arden. And her pendant is making noise. Jenna can understand it, and it wants to speak with Arden. She says she has to hold it in order to hear it. So Zareth gives it to her, and as he does, she unleashes her power to knock down he and Jenna, and then she vanishes.
Right.
Yeah. She's made her way to the village and then finds the woman elder that we see in the beginning scene.
The one who gave her the ring.
Yes. And they're trying to get the bracelet off. Arden asks for a dagger. And then we cut back to Daniel, who apparently wasn't done. He is still going on about torture. He
didn't even take a breath.
No. And I put in my notes, the man just isn't a conversationalist, But then I thought, well, he might be considered such in the company of others who have like a torture fetish, But this isn't the kind of conversation you would just carry on with someone on a base level.
Yeah, but when there's someone tied up right next to you.
Literally a captive audience?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just great. I wish we actually had more of him.
I do too. Thinking about it, I would make a terrible villain because I wouldn't be able to stop myself from having real long monologues to a captive audience just because they have to listen to me.
What would be fun? Just, I was just, as you were saying, it made me think, and of course this is all, stuff that costs money and stuff to do. But I think it would be fun to take a character like Daniel and just give him 2 minutes on YouTube. Just have him dress up. You could even do it like in front of a green screen, in front of a green screen with like a Glen or something in the background, and just have him go on about random shit like this.
Torture tips with Daniel, Wizard in Training.
Well, just anything, because there's a few other things he goes on about. But I loved his delivery, and I just loved seeing him on screen. And I don't know. I always think it's a huge compliment to an actor who has a relatively small part, but makes such an impact, at least with me, we should start a fan club. Daniel. All right. So Katya ends up getting her legs around his neck, and she snaps it. And just as she does, Arden comes in. She cuts Katya down, who shortly passes out. And then they're in the bedroom, and Katya has come to. And she starts to explain about the gaps in her memory. Now, there was a reference to this earlier that we just didn't get into, but there was an earlier reference on how she doesn't have a last name and she can't remember like her past.
Well, it was that she hadn't told Arden about her past. And Arden was like, it's fine if you don't tell me.
Right. Did she say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, she said that. She said it to Jenna. There was a conversation that they had earlier before between the Zaps where she made a comment. I think Jenna made a comment about you can't remember.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Filled it in. Okay. Coming back. So, Arden says that Zareth tricked her. Katya says that he made her. And she knows she's going to die figuratively as Katya. And then she's going to revert back to being Vesper.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I got some stuff to talk about later on that point, because this is one of the big points of the film I wanted to hit. So I won't do it right now. But then Katya calls out Arden about her only being able to be with a sorceress. And, it's like, the Darkener can only be with a sorceress, and I'm not a sorceress. Why are we even doing this kind of thing? And I love Arden dismisses it, and I didn't write down the quote, but she basically just dismisses it as folklore. It's like, this is something that people thought of hundreds and hundreds of years ago. Kind of that whole lightly touching on all that stuff from the past. All of our lore has been warped and twisted and melded into either something completely different or just way off base.
Right.
Not everything you hear is true if it's 500-600 years old or more. Right?
Well, yeah. And she's like, and also there just aren't any sorceresses. So.
Yeah. But I also kind of took it as sort of a, don't tell me how I'm going to feel towards somebody.
Yeah.
And don't do it by using some raggedy old myth.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And so we go back to Zareth and Jenna. And Jenna's doing her lightning on Daniel, bringing him back. Thank goodness. Whew, Daniel, cutting it close here. But I thought it was kind of interesting, and we can talk about it later, but the playing with the good and evil again, where the bad guys in this movie have a power that seems inherently good, which is bringing life.
Right.
And Arden, who's the hero, her power is very dark. I mean, it's darkening.
Well, as the Darkener, the darkening magic, it's referenced a little bit earlier. We
rips souls from bodies.
Separates the soul from the body.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, like the worst thing on multiple levels.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up, and she doesn't like to do it.
No, that's why she's been trying to,
right.
How can I do this without going all out?
Yeah.
This has got to be a way to temper this to be helpful instead of just,
Seems extreme.
Yeah.
But I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
So Zareth is telling a story about when he was a young wizard and he fell and broke his arm, and a young girl came to his aid, making him a sling out of part of her dress and then helping him, towards town. And it sounds like the girl was Arden. I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah.
And he very clearly is deeply in love with her.
Yeah.
So we go back to Katya and Arden, who are getting dressed for war. They're putting on their fighting gear,
yes,
essentially, and weaponing up. And Katya starts to play some of that Renaissance music that we heard in the beginning when they were dancing. And Arden's very touched. And they dance a little bit. And then the Whisper Stone speaks, but Arden, for the first time, can't understand it. And Katya can, and learns the location of the potion, the Blood of the Stars.
Yes.
That they've been looking for. So they have to hurry before Katya becomes Vesper again. And there was a line in this conversation that Arden said that I really liked. We can only be who we are now.
Yeah.
That I thought was very good. So Katya suddenly decides that she can't go with Arden to get the potion, and she's going to kill herself to stop from turning into Vesper. And then she turns and tries to kill Arden, but Arden stops her. And Katya is getting back her memories as Vesper. So she stabs Arden, who then dies, and Katya becomes herself again. So she's kind of like flipping back and forth.
Right. It's like a weak signal, 2 weak signals, trying to battle it out. She's Vesper, she's Katya, she's Vesper, she's Katya.
Mm-hmm. And Katya remembers that she is a lightener. She's not a human, right? If she's Vesper, then she has the power to bring back life.
Right.
So she tries to bring back Arden, and it works, but Arden doesn't trust her, and, for good reason.
Well, yeah. And I kind of just took it with like a humorous bit in my head, because, we've seen this in a lot of things, and we've like kind of acted it out in some D&D games. It's like nothing personal, but you're A 1 second, B the next. You don't know, I don't know. So let's not get into that tight bond thing.
Right.
Please understand.
Yeah. So Arden leaves Katya there and goes to the forest, and she finds the blood of the stars. She holds it and uses her magic to kind of poof.
Yeah.
It vanishes, destroyed properly. And as she's leaving, Katya is there, who tells Arden that she's too trusting and she should go back to Altheria. And Arden is insisting that Katya join her, even though she could be Vesper.
Right.
She don't know who she is.
Right.
So they kiss, and Katya slips the bracelet on Arden's wrist to limit her powers. So it wasn't Katya, it was Vesper.
Mm-hmm.
And the potion that Arden destroyed was a fake. Vesper actually has the real potion.
Right.
So Zareth and Jenna then appear, and Daniel.
Yes, Daniel's back.
To claim their victory. And so he tells Vesper to give him the blood of the stars, but she then drinks it and puts Zareth down, taking his powers.
Yes.
And then Arden, real quickly, slaps the bracelet on Vesper.
Yes.
The elder, her friend, made her immune to the bracelet's powers. And then Arden darkens Vesper.
Yeah. So Arden and Jenna are now carrying Vesper's body. Jenna can't revive someone who Arden has darkened. So later, Arden is talking to Vesper's body, and as she's talking, Vesper's soul returns. And it was actually quite a beautiful little...
I made a note in my notes that Tucky's monologue, her talk, and her emotion in this scene,
yes,
made me want to cry. I think it was really well done.
It was very heartfelt.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't, and we're not going to say it, any of the monologue, because listeners, you need to see it and hear it for yourself, but it was really, it didn't have, think of like Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, right? All these deep touching things, they're all placed in where they're at, right? It's the situation, it's these things. This was, in spite of all this stuff going on, this was like just a young woman talking.
Yeah.
It shed all fantasy, all, suspension of disbelief and all that. And it really just opened the door and took us into a little monologue that was real. And it was heavy inside listening to it.
It really was. It
was beautiful.
If you've ever lost someone that you cared really deeply about, and, I've done this with people that I've lost in my life, for real, where there does come a point where you just like have to say some things to them.
Yeah.
And you do it when you're alone.
Mm-hmm.
And you just kind of tell them everything that you need to tell them. Yeah. And that was what this was.
Yeah. This was a little more immediate because she's still with her body.
Right.
Right. That's a very natural thing to do, a very healthy thing to do.
Yeah.
And something that I've spent, my ecclesiastic career encouraging people to do, especially coming from, like an Irish background, that the mantra for the Irish race is suffer in silence, and there are things you need to do. And sometimes, the way this scene was all done, it wasn't that she had some things to say. It was, I got the feeling it's like, just, this just happened. She was so in love with this woman. She was just compelled. I don't think there was any choice or decision on the character's part. I think it just had to happen.
Right.
Like you wouldn't have stopped her no matter what. Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was wonderful. And folks, you're in for a treat.
Yeah.
If you want, some real reality, this monologue is as real as it gets. And you can take this thing with you, or how it made you feel, like forward for the rest of your life. Right.
Yeah.
And just kind of, it's a thing of, beauty. I just keep saying that because it was just beautiful.
I know. I'm getting watery right now. So
Baby. I'll move on. So one thing, and I want to talk about this after, is as she's talking, Vesper's soul returns. And we already said darkening separates the soul from the body. But this isn't Vesper's soul, it's Katya's.
Right.
I'm just going to leave it at that because we're almost done here and I want to use that as a big plot point. So Katya, because she drank the blood of the stars as Vesper, is now a sorceress. Because the body's still the body, right?
Well, yeah.
And so what it is we end with them going back to their world. But wait, it's not over. Jenna has Zareth, and she and Daniel have him tied to a post. Zareth, now without power, because Katya or Vesper, all the same, stole it from him with the blood of the stars, is being told that he's now going to serve Jenna.
Well, Jenna's not too happy with him because he's directly responsible for the death of her love, Vesper.
Yes. Well, he's jacked up her whole world.
Yeah.
Right? So she zaps him while Daniel is looking on. Daniel. And that then is the end.
Yes.
All right. So, do you want to start on this after talk or?
Sure.
What do you got?
Yeah. So there were a lot of things that I liked about this. There were a lot of things that I found really clever. But I want to really focus on what filmmakers can learn from it. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think all of it. That's the thing. It's not just technical aspects and plot points and writing styles. If a movie makes people feel a certain way and they talk about it, you need to pay attention to that. I think more than any of the technical stuff.
Well, that's true.
There are so many technically proficient films out there that are beautiful, gorgeous, top. You should win awards for it. But, if the audience doesn't feel anything at some point, any of the range of emotions,
right?
Then that's a huge strikeout.
That's true.
Yeah. We could talk about how this movie made us feel, not mention anything else, and people should be taking notes. Directors, writers, actors, well, okay, if that's the way it is, and what do I need to do to make people feel like that?
Well, yeah, there was a lot of emotion in this movie, and it was, it's a love story.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fantasy, and it's also kind of, it plays with the concepts of, what is evil? What makes a person evil? Who are you? And it was really, really well done, I think. And all that was because it made us kind of talk about all that and think about all that with each other.
Yeah.
I don't know. You pick a direction.
Okay.
There's so many.
Well, I want to, okay, so because we just talked about the soul coming back to the body.
Sure.
This is something that oddly, I don't know that, we can ask her, but I doubt this was intentional to really drive that home to people. It was a big thing with me because clearly, being a retired priest, I'm very familiar with souls, but being the, questioning intellect type person I am, the concept in this that when Vesper's mind was erased, right? I didn't want to say it's erased. It was totally pushed out, locked away.
Right.
Right. And then in that empty space, he created Katya, gave her like limited, just enough stuff to function with. Because really all she can remember about her life is when she met Arden.
Pretty much, yeah.
Right. And then, all this great stuff. So you have taken a body, you've taken its consciousness and you've shut it away. You've created this new consciousness. It was, I think this was brilliant. And it really made me think even more about, what happens to that second created consciousness as it lives, as it interacts, as it has emotions and everything, because it's in a human body or in a body, human or otherwise. Where does the soul come into that? Now, the whole thing with souls is we've heard, the Guff, the Hall of Souls.
Right.
Right. If the Guff were to run empty, we're done, because that's part of Revelations. And, but here's the thing, at birth, the creation of a human life, and I want to say just at birth, but at some point in that living entity, the soul is given. Right.
Right.
So when you create this fully formed individual, memories don't make a being, right? Goldfish are beings. They have no memory. And I know it's a little, we won't get into that. But as she lives and develops her own morality and her own emotions and falls in love and does all these things, would that not create a soul separate from the one that existed? Because the concept is a dark soul cannot exist in a body of light.
Right.
Right. And that's the millions of movies and literature all over that. I thought that was just a fantastic thing to introduce, fully unexpected. And I think to me, that was the highest point of this, because I have often thought, if you have a dark soul, we talk about the ability to change, on a mental level, on a physical level, on a transcendent level, on a metaphysical level, right? We are these beings that have way more than just flesh and thought and, breathe gas in and let gas out, right? We have energy. Our very being is made of the things that make up the whole universe. Everything that we do resonates and sends vibrations out through the end of time.
Right. We're self-aware.
Yeah. So this woman who has lived as her, created or not, would she not have formed a soul?
Right.
And I want to get into that whole thing, but I thought it was just beautiful. This is the single biggest point of the film that struck me. The monologue was beautiful and everything, but this concept, it just was like, wow, I was floored, because I'm like, God, yeah. Vesper didn't come back changed. Vesper died.
Right.
Her soul left. But Katya's soul, and that's the thing, was it in there? Was it immune because she was attacking Vesper?
Right.
And she was in control, so this might have been in the pocket. Or, was it floating around? It's like, well, I wasn't banished. I just kind of got knocked out, and I'm coming back. And it's kind of silly to talk about the hows and whys and whats.
Well.
But that it was Katya that came back.
And Arden wasn't sure. She had hoped.
Right. Yeah, she didn't go through this whole thing planning it.
Right.
it just happened. It happened outside of her abilities, outside of Leitner's abilities, outside of the whole sphere, right? This was its own thing. And it actually reminded me of the movie Oh God, Book 2. So the movie Oh God, with seriously,
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
Trying to think who was in Book 2. Anyway, I can't remember the actor's name, but he's giving a monologue.
Okay.
His son is sick, and he's praying over his son's sick body. And it was actually kind of an awesome little prayer, right? And it was so simple because it was honest and true. It was real, right? The realism that Tucky gave outside of all this, that caught, God's attention. George Burns, because, if anyone's going to play God, George Burns was the guy. But I can't remember the actor's name. He was in a few things, but anyway, it's been a long time. So anyway, that was his kind of thing. Is he was explaining later in the film that kind of prayer, that's how it works. That's what gets things done. And it's not always him, meaning God, doing things. And it kind of, again, spoke to me because I was young when I saw this. And it just spoke to me at a level that, so like the Darkener has magic and this whole world is full of things. You can do all this weird, wild stuff. But the one thing that evades everybody is this, this death thing.
Sure.
Didn't bring Zarth back from the dead. He was reincarnated. Separate thing. Or helped do that whole thing. That was part of the process. But there's just something about the beauty of the humanity inside everybody when let out without intent, without want, without reason, and without expectation. It's just pure. And that's what she was doing, was talking to Katya purely from the heart.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't trying to do an incantation. She wasn't trying to do anything. She was saying goodbye and how much it sucks. And that reached out, and that moment of pure beauty is what brought, her soul back into the body. So again, I could go on all night saying the same thing over and over, really. I just thought that was like the most striking part of this for me. And I know other people, listeners, you're going to watch it and have your own thoughts, and that's cool. That's fine. Because there's a lot of going on in this.
There is.
There's, you could latch on to the comedy. You could enjoy the laughs. You could enjoy Daniel. Join us in the movement.
Enjoy Daniel. Let's form a Daniel fan club.
Oh, we really should. Daniel says.
Yeah. So I think that, what you're saying is very important, and how you can bring that into your own filmmaking is, what we've heard from a lot of filmmakers is, write from the heart.
Mm-hmm.
Write about things that you know about, write about things that you feel.
Mm-hmm.
That is always and forever going to be your best stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
If you're a writer, draw from it's like acting, draw from your life experiences instead of trying to figure out how to create something like this. Almost everybody in the world has experienced loss.
Yeah.
Right. You can think how that made you feel. You can roll that experience and use your tools of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Even as a director, if you're not a writer and you're just a director, understand that, because then you can look an actor in the eye and say, this is what I need. Right? I need you to show me, I need to see the loss that just happened and how it's going to make you make the choice you're going to make right now. That's going to carry through the rest of the film.
Yeah.
Right. You can say that on a technical level, but if you don't understand it within yourself as a director, you're just talking bullshit. Right. You're just giving acting 101 tips, and you're not going to really recognize it, because that actor, you know, any actor who's serious about what they do, they will dive deep. They will find it.
Yeah.
And they will bring it out in the version of that character for you and for the audience and the other actors on set. So everyone can get in on this. Right.
Yeah. So the other part that I want to talk about, and I briefly touched on it when we were going through the movie, which it essentially boils down to work with the tools that you have.
Mm-hmm.
So Tucky obviously wanted to make a fantasy story. That's awesome. I love fantasy stories. They're some of my favorite stories. And then, you know, so you think about what you want to make, right? And then you think about what you have available to you to make that.
Right.
So Tucky doesn't have a Renaissance village or castles or, you know, elaborate medieval sets to work with.
Yeah. There's no sound stage to create all this stuff in at whim.
Right.
Right.
Right. So, I mean, what she does have is in this movie, and it's a lot of the same sets that were used in Girl Scene. You know, in the very first scene in the kitchen, in Katya's kitchen, I was like, that's the same kitchen.
Yep.
I recognize that kitchen. But you can use things that you have and you can dress them up to look differently. You can do what Anton did, which is like build a spaceship inside your house.
Yep, basement,
with cardboard
backyard,
and egg
kids'
cartons, right? And that's fine. And what Tucky did here was, well, I don't have a castle. I don't have a village to film in. Like you and I, we could maybe talk to the people at Bristol Renaissance Fair, because that village stands all year round. No one's using it during the winter, right? Maybe.
Oh, well, I'm sure there could be a conversation.
But it's not a for sure thing, and it'd be a limited amount of time, so we'd have to be real smart about it.
Right.
But so what she did was instead say, okay, so a fantasy story doesn't necessarily all have to take place in a Renaissance village or a castle or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I can meld modern day and fantasy and do it in a really smart way so that it makes sense. Yeah. And still make the story that I want to make, because the backdrop really isn't all that important. The characters are what's important.
Right.
And she's got all those right.
Right. Well, the backdrop serves with immersion.
Yeah.
Right. And we've talked about, though, outside is your friend. Right. Forests. Mm-hmm. If you want it to be creepy, done. Forest is instantly creepy, day or night. Dawn or dusk, right? You can make it work for you.
You can also make it magical.
A Renaissance period or medieval or fantasy level world shot in a forest, done.
Yeah.
Because as long as you're not getting power lines, right? And, you know, people flowing by on their trek bikes.
No trespassing signs.
Yeah. You know, any of that modern stuff. Keep that out of the shot and you're golden. The entire world. And that's the thing about movies that some people, a lot of filmmakers get, and some don't, is that one shot that you're looking at, that you've taken all this time to frame because it's all practical and it's outside, whatever. You've got your screens, everything, you're controlling the light. You've got your auxiliary lights to make up for whatever's happening, you know, that you're lacking, blah, 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 blah. Here's the shot. Right? A lot of filmmakers realize that, yeah, this is one shot, but it's a whole world.
Yeah.
It's literally a planet. And in some sci-fi, it's multiple planets, right? But whatever that shot is happening on a whole world. But we can only take this bit, you know? And sometimes they dress it up. Sometimes they don't. They just use it as it is. And in this, it's not hard to believe at all for a second that this is just this is, you know, 600 square feet of a whole planet.
Yeah.
Right. And this is what we're seeing.
And the other thing that she did which I thought was really clever, was she didn't just let it be the backdrop. Like it's, you know, you can travel between worlds and there's modern day Earth and then there's, you know, this other world. She played into that conceit a bit with having Katya talk about, you know, the ridiculous names for all these things that we're looking for. And, you know, the Todd, the therapist.
Yeah.
You know, and she didn't just let it be, well, this is what I have to work with. She, you know, made it interesting for the story. Yeah. And let it work with the story.
Well, and on the things that you work with, we were talking about this. You know, as we're talking about this film, folks, remember there's a whole series that she did that carried all.
It's not just a film.
Right.
She's prolific.
Yeah. So and so this whole Dagger Kiss series, this is, we might as well be talking about that because she's done it all the way through very successfully. So truly, if you want like an example of, you know, you don't know how to break out of your head, how the fuck do I do this? Watch these things.
Yeah.
Right? Watch whatever you can from Tucky Williams on Amazon or wherever you can find it, because she is prolific, and you can't be prolific by just willy-nilly taking things as they happen, right? She writes it, she thinks it out, she sets it up, she works with what she's got, and she gives the best out of all those situations, which has worked wonderfully.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get back to the Renaissance feel. We were talking about this. Now, say like in the 70s, early 80s, if you wanted to shoot like your 16 millimeter Renaissance film, it'd be very difficult to have it look authentic. All right. You're like a lot of the filmmakers in that day, right? Okay. So you're 16, 17, you've got this camera and you want to make something. Okay. If you don't know anybody who can sew, you can like go to a costume shop and find some stuff, which back then it was, you know, shit. But now today, with the exponentially increasing popularity of Renaissance fairs over the last like 20, 25 years.
Which are super duper fun.
Yeah, they are.
We can go again. We're going again.
Well, one day, yeah. You know, those pirate costumes.
So sad to miss it this year.
I know. But that's the thing. We don't have just pirate outfits.
No.
We have pirate outfits. I have like a mid-range nobleman outfit, the leather one. That's so hot.
You have a highwayman.
I have a highwayman. I have a like village soothsayer, you know, mystic kind of thing. Borders on fantasy, but it still fits. It's not like any wild stuff. Now, to be fair, the cloak and the shirt and the pants I made for that outfit, well, that I got for that outfit, I made myself. You can kind of tell because like around the collar, I've got that like 11 inches of weird fabric flap that I didn't know how to get rid of.
I know.
You know, but I bought a pattern and some fabric and I worked at it. Anyway, you can get Renaissance clothing anywhere today, at different levels.
Right.
Right. You can go on to Amazon. You can, you know, for less than $300, you can costume up a couple people, women. When I say women, men's costumes, the cheaper they get, the worse they look. I don't know what it is about, you know, costume makers, man. Some of these, like $60, $80 women's Renaissance dresses look fantastic. Now they're not durable. We know that.
No, they're like the Spirit Halloween store you could tear away.
You know, and it might be like, it might be like one and done. We're going to use that for this and then it might not live, but they look really good. Women's Renaissance and medieval clothing, costuming at very cheap levels looks, you know, pretty, I'm not talking
it's passable.
Pirates. Yeah. Cause pirates are always, you know, tits out and bare butt and who knows why they even bother selling them. There's just not enough covered up. But anyway, the regular dresses, you know, the maiden dresses, and then you start getting the nobles and that. Now, if you have some money for a budget, now you can get up to like the Ren Fair clothing makers.
The like period appropriate, use the proper kind of fabric. And,
yes.
Yeah.
And these are the people who travel with the fairs around the country, right? This is their bread and butter. This is what they do. And yes, it's pricey because this is what they do.
And it's handmade.
It's handmade.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. So because of that availability, you no longer need to be part of Hollywood to have costumers. You can go out and find a bunch of stuff, not just Ren Fair stuff, but that's just a lot of medieval stuff. I'm kind of saying it maybe to encourage people out there. Think of making a fantasy film. We need more fantasy films.
That's true.
But it looks really good.
It does.
I mean, that's just it. It just looks good. And with that, coupled with outdoor shooting, okay, you buy into it. I mean, we could go out into any of the forested area. We could go, to your grandmother's, walk 20 feet into the woods.
60 acres of pure forest.
Yeah. We just have to walk 20 yards in, as long as the camera's not pointing back towards the cabin. We can make a Robin Hood film.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. Robin Hood and his merry men in Sherwood Forest. Only Puritans, or purists rather, would tear it apart by, there's no such trees in England.
Right.
You run into that. But anyway, so we could do a fantasy version of Robin Hood. Still.
And we really could, because Robin Hood's in the public domain.
Yeah. So with that, working with what you have, also, what you can get. And I just like to amend that, because sometimes you can get stuff, sometimes you can't. That's cool. Do with what you got.
Yeah.
But
and it's not always what you can buy. It is what you can get.
It's what you can get.
Yeah.
This is where, okay, so everyone, when they think about making a film, look at crowdfunding, right? They go on Indiegogo and all of them, and raise money to make this film. And that's production costs and stuff. Then they want to buy props and outfits and stuff. But there's also crowdsourcing. And crowdsourcing is making your film by reaching out to people, not asking for money, but finding out who you can put in your corner.
Right.
All right. So you have somebody who's good with a sewing machine. Boom. It is infinitely cheaper to buy fabric to make a costume than it is to buy a costume made of that fabric. And I'm talking about like the iron and stuff, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I know this because I've done it. But if you don't know how to sew, and, I lucked out, but there are some people, a lot of stuff I wouldn't even bother. Stuff you and Lily do, I won't even. That's why I've never said, if we got a third sewing machine, we could all do it together, because I'm just the worst. And it would be no fun for anybody. That's not my realm. So somebody who can sew and who can follow a pattern, or better yet, make a pattern.
Right.
Right. So you can give them $75 worth of fabric and see what they churn out.
Right. Okay. If they're a good friend, and maybe you buy them a pizza, or even you pay them for their work, right? If you were able to, and they're willing.
Well, and that's the whole thing with crowdsourcing, is not finding just people who can do stuff for free, but finding people who will work with you.
Yes.
Maybe give you a discount. Some people will work for free. Family and friends generally like to show, let's go back to David Ryan Keith and Attack of the Herbals, right? How did they get out of hiring tons of extras? As an independent film, they just had the whole village show up. Hey,
someone's nan and cousins and best friends.
If you'd like to
wedding party.
If you'd like to be a herbal, come on down at 8:00.
Yep.
Right? And they all did. So work with what you got. Now, like in Tucky's case and in David's case, because with like Liam and, Steven and stuff, he's got his
your core crew.
So you crowdsource your projects, and you get that group of people who will show up. Maybe someone who knows sound, right? That's huge. Hey, I'm going to make this thing, I've knocked it out. It's going to be like 7-8 weekends. That's when we can get everyone together. Would you be able to help out? Can you work a camera? Can you edit the sound after? Anything to take something off of your hands is a huge thing. And that's, I think, the best resource, crowdsourcing, to figure out what you have to work with. So when you say, I'm going to work with what I have, now it's not just about the money.
Right.
you've got people who you can depend on, and you can get a lot done.
Yeah. And that all comes with kind of building your tribe and cutting out the people who are not supportive of you, cutting out that negativity and toxicity in your life.
Yes.
And just surrounding yourself with people who will stick by you, inspire you, support you, be your family.
Right. And I think this film, that's an important thing that you just said, because when we last talked to Tucky, we talked about the problems she had with Girl Scene, the film. Right. Because she's a lesbian, people lost their minds and the darkest bits of humanity emerged, and in the form of internet trolls, and did everything they could to try and destroy the film, its chances, its viewership, and even her.
Yeah.
Right. But didn't work. Tucky clearly has surrounded herself at this point in the game. Well, and a little bit before.
With the right kind of people.
Yeah, because she's mentioned that when we talked to her last time. Surrounding herself with the people who believe in her, who just, and not even like saying accepting. I hate those terms, right? They're just there. They're friends. They care for her, and she cares for them, and they're close. And it's like family. Family is whoever actually gives a shit about you and wants the best for you.
Yeah.
Easiest way to define.
Whoever's actually there.
Yeah. It doesn't matter where they came from or whatever. Without all of that, none of this would get done, because you can't survive as an entity of any kind harboring negativity and letting people dump it on you and throw it on you and drown you in it. And then stay there and just like take it. That's not even like a filmmaking thing. That's a life lesson. Cut it loose. People who run you down, who insult you, who demean you, cut them loose. If you feel heart heavy about doing it, nothing's forever. It's really up to them.
Yeah.
Cut someone loose today. Just be like, I'm done. Not talking to you, not anything. A year from now, check it out, see how they are. Maybe they'll reach out to you and say, you know what? I was a shit. And I am so sorry.
Yeah.
And if you can see that they've genuinely changed, well, now there's somebody you want in your circle, because people can change. But if they don't,
well, they might be, but
Well, yeah, but if someone,
it's circumstantial.
Yeah, if someone you set aside doesn't change, they just stay there. Life's too short to worry about other people and how they feel towards you.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many other things to worry about. Mostly just being you.
Yeah.
So and we talked about this last time. We talked about her and Girl Scene. Be true to yourself, and by doing that, make sure you just surround yourself by people who believe in you, no matter what, like in all aspects, not just, you're a good writer, but just as you as a human being, right? No judgment, no dark shit. Just got to do it, because then you'll be like Tucky. You'll be somebody who has fought through the crap, coming out on top, and she's knocking these things out. Nobody is saying
she is like cracking. She is doing it.
Yeah. You can't do this. Well, I'm sure they're saying it. She's not hearing it, and she's not letting it happen to her, which is the best, just on so many levels.
Yeah. I'm so excited to talk to her.
I know. We're going to talk more about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that,
every time you say that, you're just like trying to kick me to the end. Is that all we have to talk about? I think so.
I want to save some stuff to talk with Tucky about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's fair.
But I think we've covered the big stuff here.
Yeah. Just sum it up, work with what you have, crowdsource, so that what you have is more than what you started with.
And right from the heart.
Right from the heart. And yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
So back to with that.
Go check out our website. It is www.lordsofmisruleproductions.com.
Boom.
Yeah. There you can find our blog, links to past episodes of this podcast, links to where you can subscribe to this podcast, a link to our Patreon page, which patrons get access to cool stuff. And there will be more stuff coming as we reach our goals on Patreon.
Yes. Also, you'll see on there, not just, you can't well, I guess you can. In addition to the podcast links on the side to where we are, I've added the Amazon Music.
Yeah, we're on Amazon Music now.
It's its own thing, so you got to go there and you can subscribe to us through Amazon. If any of the platforms just aren't for you, that's fair. Yeah, blog, all over social media. Check us out: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. YouTube will have some more stuff coming. And see what's happening, because we have a lot of things that we interact with that show up on feeds. So you'll get to know, like, Eric Schumacher from Tombstone Rashomon, played Doc Holliday. He's a magnificent human being, great actor and producer, because he's working on so many projects that are stagnated because of all this in Arizona, and I can't wait for it all to kick off. And see more of him and what he's doing. David,
Kyle, Anton, Liam, Ryan.
I'm just talking about interacting.
Oh, sure.
All these folks. You just go to our episode list and you'll see all the people we've talked to. But you can also, check out what's going on with these guys. Follow them. Because, I don't have Alex's.
Oh, sure.
Twitter.
I don't know that he's on Twitter.
I don't think he is. But anyway. Ryan Kruger, David Ryan Keith, Liam Matheson. Actually, Liam I don't see him much on Twitter, but David's out there. So anyway, you can see all these folks, and you also can see some more podcast followers of ours who show up on the feed because we interact beyond a DM, and give them a listen. Check these people out that we interact with and listen to their podcast. If they're in film, see what they've been doing. Yeah. Look at their account and watch some of their stuff, because this is all about B movies and indie film. And right now, if it doesn't cost you anything to watch something, watch it.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's still a revenue stream.
It is. And it's still supporting these artists. And honestly, right now, artists and the content that's being put out there, produced, the content that already exists out there and is, watchable, is what is keeping everyone going right now.
Pretty much.
So show some love and support to these people.
Yes. And I want to plug two things, even though we're not getting paid for any of this.
Well, first I want to say, go watch Dagger Kiss, Enchanted Forest on Amazon Prime Video.
Yes. We recently watched on Netflix Enola Holmes.
Oh, so good.
Folks, listeners, if you have young kids, especially if you have young girls, this is a super fun movie to watch. And we say that because these are the things that are getting it through this time, like you said.
Yeah.
Right? Also, The Great British Baking Show.
It's back.
Season 8 is back.
It's the best TV show to have ever existed in the entire world.
And for us, I tell you what, we watched that first episode with Lily, and it was like, I just said, this is the show that we need right now.
It was like with coming home.
Well, with all the nightmares and stuff going on in the real world.
I know.
Right? When you can take a minute to sit down and watch something and have it not, trying to deliberately be something, like action films and stuff. There's a lot of films out there that are trying to take your attention away from everything by being bigger or worse than what's going on.
I think the producers of that show know how much the world needs the Great British Baking Show right now, because they found a way to make it happen even in this pandemic, with all of the contestants quarantining to film the show, all the contestants and crew, and Paul and Prue and Noel and Matt.
Yeah. Well, they built a village.
Yeah.
That instead of old episodes or past seasons, they show up on the weekend to do the filming, and then they go home and do their jobs and then practice baking and stuff all week and then come back. Every one of these people got permission from their employers and everything and consented to spending 7 weeks. Well, except for the people who get sent home.
Until they get sent home. Yeah.
But up to 7 weeks in this village with zero contact. So that's the crew. Everybody's living there after they had quarantined.
Yeah.
And been deemed safe.
Amazing.
And that's a lot to go through for a show. But I got to tell you what, it's just so pure that I think you're right. I think they realized this has got to go out. Because people can watch this and just for a minute, just kind of, it's like soul cleansing.
It is.
You know?
Yeah.
Anyway, so those two things are happening on Netflix and recommend them because it was a lot of fun. It's been a long time since we've had a really, truly fun movie.
I know.
At geared towards, you know, Lily's age group. This was worth it.
It was.
This was worth it. All right. So, B-siders.
Stay safe.
Wear masks. Do the thing.
Don't be an asshole.
Yep. Don't be an asshole. Vote. And, you know, more than anything, I think we said it in a couple episodes ago, just hang on. Reach out to people if you need to reach out and look for those who need reaching out to.
Yeah.
Right. We are not at the top of this hill yet.
We're not.
And it's going to be a steep, messy ride down.
And, you know, reach out to us if you need to. We're here. We read
absolutely.
our emails.
Yeah. Links are on the website. You know, go there and that's the portal to everything.
It is.
You know, we'll hear from you. We'll chat with you. Listen to other people. Spread the good news of indie film. What's going on? Look for some film festivals.
Yeah, that's the great thing. Most film festivals are virtual now. So, well, all of them are virtual now. So you can go to pretty much any film festival that's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Just, you know, search on them.
Yeah.
And, you know, you don't have to buy a whole big pass. You can buy individual tickets or individual screenings. If you want to buy the whole ticket because then you can get in on like Q&As with directors and actors and stuff and some forums and stuff.
Yeah.
They're doing the best they can. Like
Fright Fest was going to go on and then it was canceled and changed to virtual. And I know that David was bummed about that because Redwood Massacre made it into Fright Fest. But I think that Fright Fest going virtual is going to be extremely good.
Yes.
For all the films in that festival.
Yes. Because even though they limit, you know, the tickets, it's a good example. Friedberry has been seen by more people because of the virtualization of all of the foreign film festivals than it ever would have had they been in person.
Yeah.
That's magnificent. So that's, if you're a creator, a filmmaker, and, you know, this is going to go on for a while. So, you know, you're on the verge of getting something done. Don't despair.
Yeah.
Right. You have an opportunity to be seen by more people now than ever before.
Absolutely.
You know, relish in it.
So.
Okay.
Until next time, B-siders, this is Danny.
This is Jim.
And we will catch you next week.
Am I pausing for effect or are you going to tell me something?
No, it's your turn to say something.
We'll talk to you next week with a great interview with a wonderful woman. And till then, let's keep going.
Bye.
Bye.